today is our last lesson in this volume 48. There's actually one more lesson, but we have done a longer version of that sutta before. So today is chapter 13, Khanda Patisalana Sutta. The aggregates discourse on mental solitude as 22.6, Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 22, sutta 6. This sutta is compact, complete in itself. It's a very good sutta for practice. It is based on what is called the two-truth formula. Normally we have the Four Noble Truths, but we have a short practical version of it, where the Buddha once told Anuruddha, only one thing do I teach, dukkha and the ending of dukkha. So this is the two-truth formula: suffering, ending of suffering. In a sense, problem, solution. So you see this sutta divided quite neatly into two parts based on this two-whole idea. The first part is the problem situation, and then the second part is the solution. That's one way of looking at it. And this teaching is based on the 5 aggregates. Of course, before we practice, this is where the sutta comes in. The purpose of the sutta teaching is to familiarize ourselves, is to clear our minds regarding ignorance and doubts about the nature of the self. Without the sutta teachings, without the Dharma, we will be encumbered with all kinds of ideas, all kinds of views. We will not be able to meditate. So the purpose of studying the sutta is to clear all those views, to clear the ground, so to speak, or to clear a safe path through the jungle. So the 5 aggregates, according to the suttas, are form, feeling, perception, formations or mental formations, and consciousness. Now very briefly, we can say form, of course, refers to the body. And when we say body in Buddhist psychology, in early Buddhism, it refers to at least to the 5 physical senses: the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. These are called the Panchindriya, Pancha Indriya, the 5 faculties. If you include the mind, then it's called the 6 faculties, or 6 sense bases, salayatana. But in this case, form encompasses only the first 5 senses, the physical senses, whereas the mental aspects covered by the other 4 remaining aggregates: feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. In the case of the reflection on form here, we reflect on the arising and the passing away. In other words, it is all impermanent. It comes and goes. There is no way we can hold on to it. This is what we are reminded. So in a sense, this first part of the first aggregate about form is to remind us how to look at something physical. We tend to look for the beauty marks, if you like, something beautiful about it. There's nothing wrong in enjoying something beautiful, the aesthetic aspect of it. But we have to understand whatever is aesthetic about it is right here, right now, before us. And only in being aware of this present moment, there is aesthetic value in that moment. So in a manner of speaking, the Buddhist idea of aesthetics is the present moment. To see this wonderful peacefulness, this joy before us. That is the essence of Buddhist aesthetics. Then the second aggregate is feeling. Feeling here refers to how we value, how we see this experience of form or feeling, and all the others. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, how you feel about these things. Feeling, of course, as we know, includes the first is of course liking it, and second is opposite is disliking it, and third is ignoring it, becoming bored with it because we can't make up whether we like it or not like it because we have no way of connecting with it. So this is the hedonic tool, if you like, how we see something as desirable or not, pleasurable or not. Here again, feeling is impermanent. It rises and it falls. It depends on impermanence. Only in impermanence is there feeling. Without impermanence, there is no feeling. Feeling doesn't make sense. Then comes perception. Perception is a bit more tricky. This is a perceptive aspect of ourselves. In simple terms, we can say perception is how we recognize a mental event, an experience. In other words, we see this and then we remember it. We link it to something we have experienced in the past. In other words, we know something already. We know something. There's a mental database, and we refer to this mental database. We say, "Oh, I know this one. It is like this." Then we kind of decide whether we like it or not, and so on. So this is a perception aspect. Then comes the mental formation aspect, sankhara. Technically, it is called the cognitive aspect. When the intention is there, whether it is wholesome or unwholesome. If it is wholesome, of course, then you have thoughts of loving kindness towards it, of charity, generosity, and of calmness, of equanimity, or joy even, if you like. So here we notice what is the mind behind this kind of experience? Is it wholesome, unwholesome? What kind of karmic manifestation, in other words? So this goes a little deeper here. Karma formations, mental formations, and finally consciousness. This is the most tricky part here. Consciousness refers to the whole backdrop, the whole background of our mental experience, how we know things, how we cognize things. So here it is like first level of knowing. You immediately see something, hear, smell, taste, touch. Then the other one is called perception. That's when you recognize that experience. So that's how they're interconnected. Of course, if you have still some difficulties with the last four or last three of the five aggregates, just stay with the ones you understand. Form and feelings are quite easy. So you select those passages that you are familiar with, and you reflect on them. Now we are going through the sutta and explain as we go along. The translations on page 192, the aggregate discourse on mental solitude, S22.6, originating at Savatthi. That the Blessed One said this: Bhikshus, devote yourself to the practice of solitude. Bhikshus among in solitude, or one who is secluded, understands true reality, all things as they really are. So here solitude means meditation. It's not just keeping away from people, but we focus ourselves on the mind. That is why we need to be by ourselves. It's not that people are bad or we don't like people, not at all. It is because we value people, it's because we want them to be happy. We need that solitude to see our true selves, to build up our inner strength. And when we do meet such people, we're in a better position to help them, to bring them joy and peace. Section 3. And what is the true reality that he understands? There you are. So here, in other words, when you go into this meditation, you experience what is really before you, what is inside you, what is outside you, true reality, not that there is what's called virtual reality. We often project, create our own ideas of things. And what is the true reality that he understands? It is the arising and passing away of form, and the arising and passing away of feeling, and the arising and passing away of perception, and the arising and passing away of mental formations, and the arising and passing away of consciousness. So the key dynamic here, the key factor here is arising and passing away. And this happens to all experiences. And this is another way of talking about impermanence. Whether it is the body or it is the mind, whether it is form or the other aggregates, they all arise and pass away. Even the breath, I'm saying, goes out, arises, passes away. Then the Buddha goes on and says, and bhikshus, what is the arising of form? What is the arising of feeling? What is the arising of perception? What is the arising of formation? What is the arising of consciousness? So of course, here, to simplify, we can say, how do the five aggregates arise? How does body and form, how does a form and mind arise? How does body and mind arise, so to speak? Then the answer is given in number 5. Here, bhikshus, he seeks pleasure in, approves of, goes on grasping. So this, when we find pleasure in something, when we project a certain feeling, liking, disliking, being bored with it, ignoring it. But here, especially in approving of it, and then holding on to it, grasping it, that's how we bring it into being. In other words, it's not there, but you bring it into being in your mind. And what is it that he seeks pleasure in, approves of, and goes into grasping? Alright, so the simple answer is the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, formation, consciousness. Another way of understanding this is whatever we experience has to fall into one of these 5 categories, one of the 5 aggregates. It's either form, feeling, perception, formation, or consciousness. And all these are impermanent. Then the reflection continues. Section 6. He seeks pleasures in form, approves of it, goes on grasping to it. Okay, we see something visual, something we like. From his finding pleasure in form, approving of it, going on grasping it, arises delight. So when we look at something, we approve of it, delight arises, that sense of approval becomes stronger. Delight in form is clinging. In other words, you hold on to it. You keep on wanting it, not letting it go. Conditioned by clinging, there is existence. Bhava, meaning you become whatever you cling to, that you see pleasure in, in other words. Conditioned by existence, there is birth. This experience continues into the future, into the next life even. Conditioned by birth, there is decay and death. sorrow, lamentation, physical pain, mental pain, and despair come to being. Right? So the basis of suffering is this experience that we go through. Why is that, you might ask? Is because when we fail to get this experience, that's when we begin to miss it, and we begin to think about it, we begin to suffer on that account. So suffering means missing this thing we have created for ourselves. So this is all mind-made. It's a mind-made situation. Such is the arising of this whole mass of suffering, arising from form. The same format is repeated for feeling. Right? So let me summarize. So there is this feeling we like, a certain kind of feeling. It arises, then we approve of it. That means we hold on to it, we grasp it, and when we grasp and we cling to it, we become it. And we go on building it up into the future, next life and so on, and on account of that we suffer. Because when we're so used to it, when we see us missing, then we want it. Same with perception. Perception is a little bit more difficult to understand. Here is how we recognize things. That moment of seeing something, we say, oh yes, that's what I want. It's the same thing. It arises in the same way. And then mental formations, a bit even more difficult to notice, is how we decide, in a sense, the intention that we have. Planning something, intending something. We delight in it too. And finally, number 5 is consciousness. Right? So this is the kind of general mode of knowing things. This is a little bit more tricky to reflect. So for beginners, the easiest to reflect on will be the first 2 aggregates, form and feeling. And once you begin to understand the nature of form and feeling, and go on to investigate the other 3 aggregates. Don't try to rush to know all the 5 of them. It can be quite difficult. Begin with the easiest parts, the first 2 aggregates especially. So this is the first part, how suffering arises through the 5 aggregates. Then comes the closing part, the second half, which is a solution, ending of the aggregates. Notice it says the ending of the aggregates. In other words, how we project all these ideas. We let go of that projection. Section 12. And pictures, what is the ending of the form? What is the ending of feeling? What is the ending of perception? What is the ending of formations? What is the ending of consciousness? Here pictures, he does not find pleasure in, does not approve of, does not go on grasping. Right? So in other words here, letting go. Letting go, how do we do this? One simple way is to reflect on the impermanence of it all. The next time you experience something really nice, let's say you're eating something really delicious, a favorite food, and say, first of all you say, okay, this is really good, this is really nice food, but this, what is it really? It's taste. And this taste is impermanent. It comes, it goes. It is nice to me because before this I did not taste it, or I tasted something else and I do not notice anything nice about it. So now here is something which I feel is different, right? So it's kind of comparative, impermanent. Then the Buddha continues and says, here pictures, he does not find pleasure in, does not approve of, does not go on grasping. And what is it that he does not find pleasure in, does not approve of, does not go on grasping? And the next part, the Buddha goes into each of the 5 aggregates one by one. 13, he says, he does not find pleasure in form. It does not approve of it, does not go on grasping it. From this not finding pleasure in forms, not approving of it, not going on grasping it, delight in form ends. Right? So in other words, how do we cut off this not delighting in something, not finding pleasure in something? Well, there are many ways here taught to us in the suttas. For example, in the Viviccā Sutta, where, for example, one way is just to turn away from whatever object is likely to distract us, rather to draw our attention in such a way as to capture us, so to speak, or to reflect on the impermanence of it, or to do something the opposite, think of something impure or foul, as we say, aversion to it. Or, a very gentle one, is to loving kindness, to reflect on loving kindness and just send the loving kindness out, to let go. It is just an experience, and then letting go of this experience, like freeing a bird that you have found trapped in the bushes. So these are different ways that we overcome this being caught up with something. With the ending of delight, clinging ends. With the ending of clinging, existence ends. With the ending of existence, birth ends. With the ending of birth, decay and death end, sorrow, lamentation, physical pain, mental pain, and despair do not come to be. So this is the long term. You go on building it up, practicing this way, well, you find it ends. Even though I say in the long term, if we're able to take charge of our minds, we don't let the mind go where it wants and be lost there, we feel happy and contented in this life itself, in this moment itself, so that we're able to do what is really creative, beautiful, and happy. That's the value of this practice, in other words. We have time for goodness, for happiness, for joy, for peace. And the same thing applies to feeling. Here again, let me explain in a simple way. So when feeling arises, we do not delight in it. We see it for what it is. It says, okay, this is a nice feeling, or this is a painful feeling, this is a neutral feeling. It's all impermanent. It will arise, it will pass away. Then we, not delighting in it, we don't grasp it, we are not caught with it, we don't become it. It doesn't control us, it doesn't follow us into and build up new lives and bring suffering to us. The same thing with perception, which is a bit more profound, more tricky, recognizing things. That's a subtle aspect of our mental process. Same thing. We apply on this teaching of impermanence in mental formations, how we decide the karmic value, the intention behind our act. Through mindfulness, we make sure that we only show wholesome intentions. Then this consciousness is how we know things. Again, here we train ourselves to only see things in an impermanent way, so that we stay focused right what is before us, and the knowledge that comes to us is useful knowledge. In other words, this is the knowing aspect of our mental process, consciousness. So once we're able to do that, then this whole mass of suffering ends. Because this is the ending of form, this is the ending of feeling, this is the ending of perception, this is the ending of mental formations, this is the ending of consciousness. A1. So the sutta ends there. Notice how short and simple this teaching is, but the essence of Buddhist practice is in all this, what I've said. Here we have the two teachings, suffering and ending of suffering, and then you have the five aggregates. You reflect on the impermanence of the five aggregates. But it might help for you to rewind this video and listen one more time, and then choose one simple passage, maybe section 4, just the passage on section 6, the passage on form, or section 7, the passage on feeling. Just reflect on that one passage, and then go on to reflect on the positive aspect of it. Section 13 on form, how form ends, or section 14, how feeling ends. You reflect in that way, then you do your meditation, closing with loving kindness, so that your practice is joyful. With that, we end our reflection. Let us do a short closing reflection before we end. The Buddha's teaching, if we follow it mindfully, carefully, and diligently, frees us from a lot of unnecessary distraction, unnecessary suffering, so that we have even more precious time in our life to do what we really enjoy, what brings us happiness, goodness, and compassion for others. Reflecting in this way is wonderful good karma. By the powers of this goodness and the power of the three jewels, may we be empowered with joy, with the wisdom and the courage to aspire to stream winning, at least stream winning in this life itself. By the same token, by the power of the three jewels and all the good things we have done, let us send out our loving kindness to all our loved ones. May they be well, may they be happy. To all those who are practicing the Dhamma, to all those who have taught us the Dhamma, or teaching the Dhamma to us, may they be well, may they be happy. And to those who have difficulties, who are lost, who are still seeking the truth, may they find the liberating Dharma in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.